Hello, dear ladies and gentlemen. I would like to welcome you to our session of 3 panel discussions that will be conducted in English. The topics of our sessions today will be Polish-Japanese cooperation in space exploration, human capital as Poland's advantage, and also Poland as a gateway to Europe. My name is Marta Szczygieł. I'm the head of the Tokyo office of the Polish Investment and Trade Agency, and I will be your MC today. Our first session is titled Polish-Japanese Cooperation in Space Exploration, Innovations, Technologies, and New Horizons. Our participants are as follows. Hi. Mr. Łukasz Kotapski, Vice President of the Management Board, Industrial Development Agency. Mr. Krzysztof Walas, ESA Spaceship Poland. Mr. Arkadiusz Kowalski, Professor, Department of East Asian Economic Studies, Warsaw School of Economics. Ms. Julia Gościańska-Łowińska, ESA PhilLab Poland, Director of the Konkolewo Campus, Poznań University of Technology. And finally, Mr. Sławosz Uznański-Wiśniewski, Engineer, Scientist and Astronaut, European Space Agency. The moderator of this panel will be Mr. Tymoteusz Kraski, Polish Space Agency, Polsa. Mr. Kraski, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to today's panel on Polish-Japanese cooperation in space domain. My name is Tymoteusz Kraski, and I'm from the Polish Space Agency. I will be moderating this session. We apologize for the slight delay, and maybe in the interest of time, I will not be reintroducing my panelists. And I would also like to note at the beginning that unfortunately astronauts' schedule is as busy on Earth as it was in space, and Mr. Sławosz Uznański-Wiśniewski unfortunately needs to leave us a bit earlier due to a planned session with students, 35,000 students, streamed from the Polish pavilion on the World Expo. I will therefore begin with questions to Mr. Uznański-Wiśniewski and proceed with the rest of the distinguished guests later. Okay, so my first question to you is that international cooperation in space is built both through large multilateral programs like the European Space Agency, but also increasingly via bilateral initiatives such as prospective Polish-Japanese cooperation. In your view, what are the main advantages of working within the European Space Agency frameworks, and what are the strengths and limitations of bilateral cooperation in exploration projects, for example?
I don't know if it works. Yeah, it works. This is a very, very broad question, but we know that in general, exploration, but not only exploration, big projects are being executed always in collaborations. And these collaborations, basically, especially in space, are global, are very wide. The example is especially the program of the International Space Station is a very, very wide global collaborations in between the United States, so NASA, Canadian Space Agency from Canada, the European Space Agency from Europe, Roscosmos from Russia, and JAXA from Japan. Japan is a very, very big partner of the International Space Station, much bigger than Europe, than the whole Europe, over 50% bigger on the ISS. Then as Poland, as a country, as a member state of the European Space Agency, obviously we contribute to European projects in space, not only exploration, but navigation, telecommunications, launchers, Earth observation projects. And this is one way to go. On the other hand, the option is as well to have bilateral collaborations. Obviously, ESA provides the whole framework to contribute to such big projects as the ISS. ESA was as well the agency implementing our science for the International Space Station, and which was done extremely well. We executed 100% of the contracts we had with a big success in orbit. But our mission was done through a commercial provider, as Axiom Space is. And for example, Hungarian model was a bilateral collaboration with Hungary directly. And they have executed a beautiful mission as well. So these two paths are possible. Obviously, ESA is the way to go to Europe to share knowledge, build big projects, contribute to the biggest projects. Nonetheless, the bilateral collaborations, as with JAXA or American partners, is also possible. One of the examples in Europe of balancing these two possibilities is the Italian Space Agency, that has always been a big contributor to ESA, as well as a big country running big bilateral projects with different European and global partners.
Thank you. And my next question is perhaps a bit more on the cultural side of things, but taking opportunity that we have you on the panel and that you received part of your astronaut training in Japan with JAXA. And based on your broad international experience, how do you see cooperation with Japanese partners? What are your observations regarding cultural differences or similarities, working styles and approaches to technology that could influence Polish-Japanese space projects?
That's quite a broad question as well, but I would say as when you work on one big project, technology project, the cultural differences, they are less pronounced than your common goal. And I would say this is the same, the collaboration within the ISS framework. So I would say there is already an institutional culture around the project, how to communicate, how to share knowledge, how you are structuring your teams, and how to achieve a common goal. And I would say this is much more dominant than the differences we have. When we work towards a common goal, then all of us contribute with our strengths towards this goal, and the weaknesses are being dealt on the collaboration level. What I can say, training in Japan was a great experience. I spent here a week being trained in Tsukuba in Japan, and it wasn't my first situation I was exposed to the Japanese culture. I worked with Japan before as a scientist, as an engineer working for CERN, for the European Organization for Nuclear Research. I was working with a KK that was as well just across the fence from JAXA in Tsukuba in Japan. And these were projects around particle accelerators and high energy physics, so fundamental science. And then I could really come here to Japan to experience the work culture and sharing knowledge around the station when I was being trained for the Axiom 4 mission. That was a great experience. I really am very thankful for Japanese partners, how we were welcomed very warmly. We were provided a lot of knowledge. Our questions were being asked. We really spent and expanded on our relationships as a big ISS family with Japanese people. We spent time as well in the control center to observe how the operations is being done here on the ground. And then it was a big pleasure to be on the ISS and talking to the Japanese control center, the mission control center in Tsukuba in Japan, and getting to know the voices before the mission was really a big step to get the highest possible efficiency in operational environment while we are executing the mission. So this human connection is extremely important.
Sorry, would anyone want to? Yes, I thought so.
Thank you. I will start because I will go a little bit to the origins. I represent Warsaw School of Economics, but in 2006-11 I was working for the Ministry of Economy, where I was responsible for preparing and implementing first agreement with European Space Agency under that time Plan for European Cooperating States. And I remember a similar event like this, and in similar circumstances I met with first Polish man in space, Mirosław Hermaszewski. Now I sit together with Sławomir Szuznański, the second and last till now Polish man in space. So I consider myself a relatively young person, but somehow I bridged first Polish cosmonauts with the second, and the times, where we were not part of European Space Agency, we were just starting cooperation with that organization, and now when we are a full member of that agency, and times where we had no Polish Space Agency. That time everything, in fact, was on my desk and in my computer, and we are just starting. And now when we develop this capacity and we have Polish Space Agency, and we are a full member of European Space Agency, which results in such great achievements like yours. So it shows our development and our capacity for future as well. Thank you.
Yeah, what I could add, yes, thank you for your work on introducing Poland to ESA as the member state. And what is important, Poland's contribution at ESA is growing. So this is undeniable. It was maybe 10 years of quite a slow development, and we do have a Polish space sector now with multiple companies and getting bigger and bigger. On the other hand, the European Space Agency sets the goals always for 3 years in advance. And this year we have such a moment. It's called the Ministerial Council of ESA in November this year. And I hope that Poland will come with a bigger contribution as well, a bigger place in the European Space Agency to execute technology projects and to contribute to technological development, shaping as well where the technology goes in Europe. Because I think we are already in this place that we are a sufficiently big partner to be able to take over coordination of strategic projects, and our sector follows in terms of development of technology on behalf of ESA that coordinates these programs. And can't wait for the Ministerial Council, and I hope that Poland will be much bigger 3 years from now than we are today.
Well, so basically on our sector, a few words. I think that this is a great opportunity now that we participate a lot in as a ESA member country, and that's why we have the initiative that is called ESA Philip Poland. So it's dedicated to the space sector, to our companies in Poland. So it's a great opportunity to start a new investment, to start a new project based on our knowledge, because we really have a great sector, and we as ESA Philip, as an initiative supported by ESA, are supporting these companies and make them grow. So we focus on the maturation of the technologies. So thanks to the seed funding that we will provide through the ESA seed funding, we can really make great things and make our sector bigger and bigger and plays a really significant role in Europe.
And Mr. Krzysztof Walas, I'm guessing on the topic of lunar exploration,
yeah,
right?
So we have two opportunities. So our one is ESA Spaceship Poland. It is related to training of future astronauts or roboticists. So it is focused on autonomy, robotics, and AI. So we really owe a lot to Sławosz because this mission to ISS opens our mind, our aspirations. So as you always say, next is the moon. And next will be robotics on the moon. We have to prepare moon for people to come there. So this is where we're heading to. We have iSpace here, so we can talk to them how to do it together. So we are building this capacity. We are also building the, with Polish companies, software stack for autonomy, computers from Poland. So they're growing and growing and getting there. So I guess the next meeting, I think in 3 years' time, will be closer to our flight to the moon with the robots first.
Okay, Sławosz, would you like to reply or comment?
I think this is great. We have a PhilLab and we have ESA Spaceship in Poland. We have a couple of ESA BIC, what is called Business Incubation Center. So the seed funding for startup companies. So as you can see, our solutions and our possibilities in Poland are growing. What we are still maybe missing, or where we can improve, is to have a more complete development strategy that is across the sector to push competencies on the market that will be needed in the future. So this is something that I hope will appear quite soon, and as well a place to coordinate these efforts in a certain manner to go all of us together in one direction. As you said, this is great that within the exploration program there is 16 competencies of the future that will be needed for us to explore space. Automation robotics is one, artificial intelligence is the second one, the guidance navigation control systems, these are the other ones. ESA Spaceship Poland develops some of these ones. What we do have in Poland, this is a tremendous engineering talent. We have really, really great students who run student initiatives, but we still need to be able to transform these student initiatives into the startup sector and then innovative products that would be able to contribute on a larger scale than only to some student missions. And this is where we really need kind of this development strategy and coordination of efforts to actually make a bigger impact. One of the possibilities that I saw in between Poland and Japan, at the Japanese training at JAXA, there is quite a lot of possibility of bilateral collaborations around robotics with some student initiatives. This is one, and potentially with other quite established institutes like PIAP Space. This is one that could really push the competencies and create an activity in between Poland and Japan. This is something that I could see from my side as a growing impact within Europe, but also with, for example, Japan.
And touching on students' initiatives, we also have guests from Akademia Górniczo-Hutnicza in Krakow with exhibition of their project in one of the rooms on the forum. I invite you to engage with ambitious Polish students already working on space projects. And from the perspective of the Polish Space Agency, we also believe that future of collaboration with Japan is in exploration and is in probably moon missions. This is an area where Polish industry and academia holds a lot of competences, and I think we're. Would you like to say something, Serge? Because I think we're running out of time slowly, but so perhaps a closing statement from you.
I didn't want to take too much time, but this is one of the student initiatives that we were running with one of the foundations, the New Space Foundation. It was before Poland decided to invest in the space mission. So we were in this place where, you know, I was selected as an astronaut, but we never flew to space, so we didn't have any experiments to execute. And then we didn't have any experiments because we were not flying to space. It was a bit a chicken and egg problem. And we ran this initiative that was called Direction Space. It was a student initiative because who's the best, you know, like at innovating and bringing new ideas where there were no ideas on the market. These were students. So I'm very, very proud to say this is the initiative here. This is one of the students group that won that contest Direction Space. And this showed us how big potential in Poland is to build scientific experiments and technology experiments for orbit for the International Space Station. Maybe the next step is Direction Space in Poland, to Direction Moon, to actually build more exploration programs towards the moon. As far as I know, today KP Labs is one of the companies in Poland that signed an agreement with the European Space Agency on moon exploration rover that will develop some electronics for moon rover. There is a couple of initiatives. One of the companies, Conway, is building telescopes for Intuitive Machines constellation with an American partner based on a commercial product to actually observe the moon on their navigation, telecommunications, and Earth and moon observation constellation. So we do have really good basis for developing these projects, and I can't wait for the future, so where we will be, you know, in 3, 4, 5 years' time.
Well, thank you very much, and I know this is all the time that you have due to our delay. And, well, maybe round of applause for Sławosz Uznajski-Wiśniewski. Thank you for coming today, for participation.
Thank you.
And due to, oh please, Sławosz, you can already. I didn't have time to do a proper introduction for Sławosz, so maybe I'll do an outroduction. Sławosz Uznajski-Wiśniewski, project astronaut of the European Space Agency and the second Pole in space during the first Polish mission to the International Space Station IGNIS. He conducted 13 experiments on board of ISS developed by Polish research institutions and companies, and also implemented a comprehensive educational program that he's continuing to work with right now. Not to hold you anymore. Thank you very much, Sławosz. Okay. So perhaps moving a bit to the business side of things, I have a question to Mr. Łukasz Kotapski, Vice President of Management Board for Innovation and International Relations at the Industrial Development Agency. Poland's new space sector is rapidly growing. After more than a decade of learning within the European Space Agency, many Polish companies are now moving from being subsystem suppliers to technology integrators, ready to compete in the global market. From an investment and financing perspective, how can the Industrial Development Agency support this transition and help leverage these capabilities into joint projects with international partners like Japan?
Okay, hello everyone, thank you for the question. Well, let me start saying that obviously we all feel that we are now at the kind of a turning point in the development of the Polish space sector. I have the honor today to represent Industrial Development Agency that is part of the space sector. It's one of the builders, it's one of the players, and it's one, I believe, of the integrators. If we look back at the history, so from the 2011 when Poland joined ESA, Polish companies gained lots of experience. They moved up the value chain from the simple delivery of the simple solutions towards integrated technologies, sometimes even towards the mission integrators. Industrial Development Agency in 2015 started its fellowship program. Throughout these 10 years, this year we celebrated 10th year anniversary. Through our fellowship program, we walked through over 120 trainees in over 44 companies, and over 80% of those students, of those trainees that walked through our fellowship program, they ended up in the Polish space sector ecosystem. And we are very proud that we had this privilege to train these people, to show them, to give them the opportunity to gain the experience in the space sector. Industrial Development Agency also is an operator of ESA Big Poland. Today I have an occasion to discuss with my colleagues how we can integrate those parts of the ecosystem, and this is what Mr. Uznajski said, that it's crucially important to coordinate the instruments that we have at hand and to create the environment for the Polish companies, for Polish startups to grow and to introduce them to more and more possibilities. Industrial Development Agency, as I said, is just one little part of this space sector, but we can provide also loans to the companies. We can provide, at some terms, equity investments. We can invite the companies into our special economic zones. And I believe that as the Industrial Development Agency and as this little but hopefully bigger and bigger player in the space sector, we will also be the partner for the Japanese companies to match the Polish companies and to match the Polish and Japanese companies together, also at the level of entrepreneurship, because also we as the Industrial Development Agency, we are a part of the Association of the Polish Space Sector companies, and I hope that also in the future, I will tell a little bit more later on about our plans, but I hope that we will be able to integrate and to hope and to coordinate together, of course, with other partners, this cooperation between Polish and Japanese companies.
Well, and staying on the topic of startups, I just realized that we're missing one of our panelists on the board behind us. So let me introduce and apologize to Mr. Yoshiaki Nakawa, Manager Corporate Strategy Group at iSpace, a Japanese space company. Mr. Yoshiaki is responsible for driving and managing corporate and global business strategy planning, execution cells, and other activities across for the global organization. And I have a question reflecting on the path of iSpace that was a startup company. What advice would you give to the Polish startups that aim to become international players, in particular regarding alignment with, with Japanese cooperation with Japan, Japanese business culture, and aim at global scaling?
Yeah, thank you very much for introduction. And yeah, again, thank you very much for last minute arrangement. Yeah, actually, my appointment for this panel was decided just 2 days ago. So that's why my photo is not here. So, but thank you very much. I am officially appointed this panelist. And yeah, I'd like to make a quick review of iSpace before answering your questions. iSpace is a lunar exploration company to create a cislunar economy. And our main business is a transportation service to the moon, or moon orbit, or moon surface, using our own lunar lander or rover. So we are developing a lunar lander and rover and provides infrastructure to the moon and to develop the moon surface. And the unique point is we are a very global company, and headquarters in Tokyo, but we had a Luxembourg office in Europe and a US office in Colorado, Denver. And using our global footprint, we are expanding our business globally. So I hope, and I'm great honor to be here and to join these great sessions. And for your questions for advice to the Polish startup. So first of all, let's work iSpace together. And this is a very great start point, I think. But and top of that, I'd like to advise startup for 2 points. One is building first is before developing a governance or scaling strategy, but building a relationship with especially for Japanese society is very important. And second point is collaborating a variety of non-space sectors, especially in Japan, is really unique and important, I think. For building a relationship, yes, from the Japanese startup perspective, doing the business with a Poland startup company is not familiar at this moment. Please don't take this bad, but from my perspective, and maybe there is a lot of opportunity from now on. So it's the same. It was the same situation for iSpace case, but 10 years ago, iSpace started a transportation business, but there were no relationship, no track record, or even market itself. So our first priority, first action is information sharing, provide our information, vision, or mission, and doing the very small project or something like that. So it takes a long time, but so the advice is be patient and continue the communication with key stakeholders in Japan. I will answer maybe another question about the step-by-step approach in stages is really important. And another unique point in Japan's space industry is that there are a lot of variety of space business in Japan. Not only just the manufacturing components or developing a rocket, but a satellite, but there are a lot of services, in-orbit services, exploration service like us. So, and key player is non-space tech companies, like Toyota for sponsored of this panel also, and they are really they have a really big impact for both government and startup companies itself. So the collaborations for this for these companies is really helpful and play an important role to expand their businesses, mainly for the Poland startup companies. Yeah. That's all.
Thank you. And iSpace is also one of the few early examples of already having a cooperation with a Polish space company in a MACPI mission of the European Space Agency, led by iSpace Europe. KP Labs is a partner in a consortium led by iSpace Europe. How do you envision collaboration between iSpace and Polish space technology companies like KP Labs evolving over time, and how has the cooperation been going so far?
Yes, so the project, thank you very much. The project is led by iSpace Europe teams. I am in the iSpace Japan team, so not directly being involved in the project, but I've heard the Europe team about the project, and the KP Lab is really playing an important role, especially for developing a data processing unit, I heard. And the collaboration will be gradually grows, I think. So in near term, maybe the focus on the component development or such kind of power unit or so, but it is really helpful to build our relationship and trust each other and how to make a business, how to proceed our activities in each other. And over time, I expect these companies to play a more wider role in supplying more wider subsystems or module or so. And in the long run, I think the goal should be be the partner to create the circular economy. So I'm really looking forward to working these companies with a long-term vision. I learned a lot from these panels about the Poland space industry, the Poland country's potential itself. So I like to really excited to work with Poland and Japan collaboration, leveraging our Luxembourg entities here, European entities power itself. Am I answering the question? Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, it does. And my next question is both to Mr. Łukasz Kotapski and to Mr. Arkadiusz Kowalski. And it's regarding industrial clusters. In Japan, industrial clusters and innovation networks are highly developed. In Poland, the Industrial Development Agency is creating the creation of a similar ecosystem in space sector. How do you see, from your perspectives, the possibility of combining those experiences to build effective Polish-Japanese partnerships? How do you see the role of Industrial Development Agency in that?
Okay, so very, very briefly, I think that Japan they have a really very rich and a long history of a very successful, of building very successful clusters. I think that obviously the key issue is again the cooperation between the business, public institutions, and the universities. Those three combined, they give at the end the product that the market is interested in. So I think that taking also the example of how the Japanese space sector did it, we are also trying to do the same in Poland. I can give an example of the Podkarpackie region, which today or tomorrow will be celebrating its official part here in Osaka. But in Podkarpackie region, as far as the human capital is concerned, we have nearly 15 high school universities that contribute to the building of the space and the aviation valley with nearly 80 years of experience. We also have R&D centers. We have Łukasiewicz network, the third largest in Europe. We have business that is willing to absorb in our space aviation valley the products that the companies deliver. So we believe that there is a big ground for the commercialization of the technologies. But again, and at this point, I would only very briefly repeat myself of what we do as the Industrial Development Agency, because we operate as a big Poland. We already incubated 3 companies, 14 are in incubation, and 3 are awaiting of signing the contracts with SABIC Poland. I hope we will also find a common platform of cooperation with as a fill-up program. We want to play an important role in this fellowship program. We want to play an important role via our ARP Academy, but we are also thinking of setting up a fund with the capitalization of, well, I don't want to give any numbers now, but this is something we're very seriously considering. So we will be able to fuel the startups leaving SABIC Poland with the capital, with some investment tickets, probably from 1 to 3 million zlotys. So we can help those companies to walk through the dev valley and prepare them again for the market and for the commercialization of the technology. So briefly, to summarize, to sum up, I believe that we should do as the Polish side what we do well. Of course, we can always learn from our Japanese partners how to do it better. Today, a lot was said about the Kaizen method. This is also kind of close to my philosophy of business. So we want to be better and better with each step. But I believe that that what we do, it's a very solid and good background for building the space sector clusters. But again, we all know that what's lacking now, that's for certain, is the capital. We must provide the market with the capital for those companies to grow and to expand. So I hope that within this clusters idea, Industrial Development Agency will be one of the players that provides the capital for the investment. We have already done it. We are the shareholder in the Creotech Instruments company. We also are a shareholder in the Piap Space company with the space robotics. So I think that we will continue this path, and we want to serve to the market as the agency.
Well, so space sector is definitely high-tech sector, and we need to remember that the more knowledge-intensive sector is, the more geographically concentrated it tends to be. So there is this room for this space cluster development, and we need to remember that space technologies is not only about this strictly defined space sector, because we've got many industrial companies, companies from telecommunications, from, I don't know, Internet of Things or robotics, which also contribute quite heavily to development of space sector with their technologies. And as I mentioned in the first part of that meeting with Slavoj Uznański, even under this plan for European cooperating states with European Space Agency, we had quite strong niche of Polish companies which developed technologies which were very highly evaluated by European Space Agency. So there is quite huge potential in Poland for development of these technologies, which may contribute to then development of space sector or cooperation in space sector are either at the European level with European Space Agency or intercontinental level like with Japan. And here we've got lots of experience with either research partnerships or with technology transfer, licensing, or in co-production or joint missions. And this is something we may build on. So already a lot has been done, but we have still very strong potential to develop this cooperation and in general Polish space sector and related industries.
Thank you very much. And I just got a sign that we're running out of time, but I do want all of our panelists to have a chance to answer questions. So I'll ask a joint question to Ms. Julia Gościńska-Łowińska and Mr. Krzysztof Walas, and a bit of an open-ended one on the technological side of things. What do you see, which area do you see as a potential of Polish contribution to I don't know, future lunar missions, Earth observation? What are the areas of technological expertise that we can propose to our partners?
So maybe I will start. The main technologies that we see as opportunities is, of course, space, robotics, autonomy, and AI, because these expertise are the main area of two initiatives that we have at our university. So these are the ESA initiatives. So we basically concentrated on that. One is dedicated, as Krzysztof said, and Sławoj on the development of skills of students and PhD candidates. And the second one, it's more on entrepreneurship, entrepreneurs and building entrepreneurships in general. So also based on space robotics. So these are the main, I think, initiatives. We have a great facilities at Conclave campus at our university. So based on that, we created the plan for ESA Philab initiative, that we are not only a provider of seed funding, of ESA seed funding, and seeking opportunities for other, how we can in other way help our space sector, but also we are open, and this is our part in ESA Philab, that we are open for the companies. It means that they can use our facilities, and we have a great facilities. We have what is the most important for now, robotic testing center. It's the largest one after the ESA center, the Luna. So there's no other such facilities in Europe. So it's a great opportunity for the companies to come to our university, our campus, and do the project and have a cooperation with them. And the second one, of course, is air observation. I think it really holds a significant potential for addressing different challenges, especially agriculture. We are from Greater Poland region, so we are facing different challenges in our region. It's of course there are of course droughts, and I think that this is something that we can use easily, satellite communication communication. We can use satellite data. ESA supports this kind of project. I also participated in several this kind of project where we use the satellite data from Sentinel-1 and 2 and combine it with the in-situ research. That's why we could, for example, create algorithm for irrigation models. Yeah, so this is something that this is of course the future, and I think that in case of Japan, also the Japanese agriculture is very sensitive for the climate point of view, and they're also struggling with different weather disasters. We can of course also cooperate in this matter, because as at the beginning, as a former Prime Minister today said, Mr. Jan Krzysztof Bielecki, that the agriculture and the challenges can be this black horse in our mutual cooperation in industry, because the food safety is really a very important issue, and we can really combine these technologies, so autonomy in agriculture and space in different, and also the Earth observation. So I think there are the most challenges and potential for cooperation.
I hope that last but not least. I guess, so the initiative is in the broader perspective. So where we were putting this proposal to ESA, European Space Agency, they were asking us for the specialization. So there is a niche on European market on autonomy, robotics, and AI. But AI in terms of exploration, not Earth observation, for example, because it's already covered. So this is on purpose. So there was this niche for us, and we're trying to fill it in with those both projects. So building new generation of roboticists, engineers, and also entrepreneurs, as we have here, also support for them. And on the other hand, it was also like a push from our side, because we have really good expertise in robotics and autonomy, and we really want to leverage. So we had really good results for terrestrial applications, and we thought it's really good to move now to space, and because in these terms, terrestrial robotics and terrestrial autonomy is more well advanced compared to the space one. So now we can translate the things from terrestrial applications to the robotics application for space. Why is it so? For example, if you take data-driven approaches, we don't have a lot of data from the moon registered with the rovers. So we have a lot of data from Earth. So we can train the system on Earth and then try to send them to the moon and tweak, for example, the AI models there. So there's a lot of things to do, and we hope to push it forward. And thanks to Sławos, we can really also talk to the public. We need to go to the moon, we do the exploration, and it is also helping our economy. Thank you.
Thank you very much. In the interest of not delaying the forum any further, I will let this conclude our panel. Thank you very much on behalf of the Polish Space Agency for participating. Thank you for listening to us, and I hope those insights will allow us to continue conversations on how Poland and Japan can continue building its cooperation in space domain. Thank you.
Thank you very much for a very interesting panel. I'm sure we could have talked much more about it. However, we are pressed for time. That's why I apologize that we had to cut it a little bit short. During this panel, we talked about Polish innovation and Polish talent pool. And this is the perfect moment to mention that today with us, we have a company called Polbionika, which is a company of Polish scientists who have a unique technology of 3D bioprinting. They are today with us. They won a prize for the Polish product of the future, and they are in the showroom. So if you are interested, I really urge you to check out their product, because this is something that might revolutionize the health sector. And now I would like to invite you to our second session of the day. The second session is is titled Human Capital as Poland's Advantage, Highly Qualified Staff for the Sectors of the Future. And I invite to the stage our panelists. Mr. Rafał Rosiński, Undersecretary of State of Ministry of Digital Affairs. Mr. Paweł Pańczy, Member of the Management Board, ABSL. Mr. Maciej Żukowski, Partner at Consulting Office. Mr. Łukasz Zezulak, VP Business Growth and Strategy, APEC, Comarch. Mr. Tomasz Prokopiuk, Associate Vice President, Sales DAC, Global Logic Hitachi Group. The moderator of this panel will be Mr. Przemysław Mikus, President of Software Development Association. Please give us a second for changing the water, and you can take your seats. Thank you very much. So, of course. So, Mr. Mikus, I leave the floor to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Marta. Thank you, dear panelists. I'm very happy that you still stayed with us after lunch and after the break. Yeah. So please take your seat. I will be happy, to talk a bit about the human capital and maybe positive impact of that on the cooperation between Poland and Japan. And being sure of the time and on the schedule, we will try to squeeze our panel to 40 minutes. And I hope, like my distinguished guests, will stay with us. And after the panel, you will be able to address other, discussion and talk with the audience if it's possible. Okay? Okay, guys. So let me begin. So, my dear guests, maybe let's start with some short introduction. Maybe you can say just a few words about you and about your perspective and how this relates to the human capital and to this, let's say, possibility of treating Poland as a, let's say, good place for the, highly talented employees what can, serve the future economy.
Good afternoon. First of all, I would like to thank you for this possibility to be in this panel. I think it's very important for us, especially for Poland, and especially for the cooperation between foreign country. What can I say about our perspective as Ministry of Digital Affairs according to human capital? First of all, I would like to say about our digital strategy for Poland. It's very crucial things. It's about digital skills, digital competences, and what we have now in Poland. Now in Poland, 49% of Polish people have got basic digital competence. We want to have to 35, 85% of basic digital competence, and we've got a special programs that we cooperate with companies. That is of course very important in this field, in this area. That this program, its name is PW Skills, and that is one of the way. And the second, of course, it's very important, cooperate with with academia, with universities, that our students, IT students, are very well educated. Can we say that? That general in data that Poland has got around 70,000 students in ICT study, and that representing 5% of all the students. And of course, cooperation between this university and between companies, like a special or obligatory internship, is the crucial point for the success, and that is, I think, also the need of companies, And what can I say that we've got in our ministry department for the digital skills, and especially also programs. Our ministry helps also subside also some competitions for the IT students. We are, can we say that, one of the best in the world if we take in this field. Yes.
Yeah, thank you, dear Minister. Exactly. I mean, your presence here also, somehow strengthen this, that the Polish government is really, thinking about the Polish and Japanese cooperation. And I'm really proud that you, let's say, support us as a business people in the cooperation. Yeah, that's very good. Yeah. Let me maybe move to Mr. Paweł Panczy. You, as a board member of Association of Business Service Leader, maybe you would like to add a bit about your introduction and your perspective on that topic.
Sure. My introduction would be that I come from much more down-to-earth type of business than the previous panel. We won't be talking about space, but we will be talking about doing business between Poland and Japan. And my history goes back to 1997, when I was representing the local authorities negotiating with Toyota the involvement in Wrocław and Lower Silesia. The biggest transformation for me is that when Toyota came to Poland, they were looking at the large number of highly qualified people to do the production, which nowadays it's much more automatized than it was in 1997. But what we are offering right now is the business services people. So the next stage of the development, the place where the businesses, the global companies, collect their data to analyze them and to go to the next stage of their development and economic transformation, business services. Sometimes it's recognized as the back office activities, but nowadays more and more of those activities conducted from Central and Eastern Europe and from Poland are key for the further development of the companies. So Toyota is just one of them, but we are talking about Takeda, some other companies that will be presented in this panel. So my goal today is to talk about the next step of the cooperation between Japan and Poland based on the quality of the talent available and the needs of both countries. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. I believe, this approach is somehow, show that there is a, let's say, normal continuity of this investment in Poland from the Japanese side. And Mr. Maciej, I feel and believe your, legal expertise might have kind of, additional value on that process.
I would have a very short introduction. I'm an international tax lawyer who happen from time to time to be employed by the Polish administration. And I usually work on incentives, how to attract and anchor businesses, but also a talent pool within the Polish tax and legal system. And would like to mention two instruments which happen to be very attractive both for the investors as well as the B2B Polish and international contractors, because as everybody knows, we're living currently during the digital nomad area, so we very much focus on attracting those kind of bluebirds into our system. And 7 years ago, we have introduced the instrument called IP Box, which basically allows to use a preferential tax rate when you invent something and when you sell something from the Polish company or from your Polish business. And this happened to be quite interesting both for the investor as such as for the individual programmers who not only use it being a Polish individuals, but also registering a Polish business from Belarus, from Czech Republic, from Slovakia. So we attracting that kind of people into the Polish tax environment. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for this, point of view. And Tomek, you as vice president of global company, I mean, part of the Hitachi, employ, these people who've been, supported by the Polish government and, educated by the Polish educating system, developed further by the business service sector. And these digital nomads, you probably somehow, employ them. Yeah? What is your perspective and what is your background, according to this human capital, area? Yeah? How do you see that?
Thank you. So I'm basically representing the IT and R&D world on the business side. So basically the guys who are trying to generate the outcome and money which are needed to support all those initiatives, but at the same time utilize our competences to the best of our ability. And myself working for and with Japanese companies for 15 years basically proves that what is important for the sector and for the market, especially from Japan, is of course the strong fundamentals which are given by the universities, by the competences, but also our a little bit entrepreneurship and management abilities to transform those fundamentals into solid business. And I'd like to emphasize is not only the strong background of our universities, but also the strong background of the companies which already operates on Polish market and type of products we as a Polish guys are contributing to. We are sometimes very not so well known contributors to the huge inventions which are happening on the market and also supporting scalability of those. So from my perspective and the companies we are as a group, as a Hitachi group are representing, it's this ability to transform the competences into solid outcomes and also to prove the closeness, which is very often not so much well known to the people, that our Polish and Japanese cultures are relatively close to each other and very much based on the same grounds related to our commitment, to our meaning of our word, that if we promise something, we're going to deliver something, which has been proven, as we saw at the very beginning of the forum on the slides, showing how many Japanese companies we already have on the market, which means that they feel very comfortable here and we have a very good cooperation. But it's also proven and emphasized of our cooperation on even European market, where a lot of countries like Germany, Switzerland, Nordics, they share very much the same values. And with those, we are also working for 20, 30 plus years in the game.
Yeah, thank you that you showed that perspective. And I feel like cherry on the top might be you, Łukasz. As of course, your name is Polish, but you are located here in Japan, yeah? Maybe you can say a few words, from your perspective, yeah? How do you see that topic? And please, yeah, let us share that.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Yes, so my name is Lukas. I have a privilege and I'm honored to lead one of the biggest Polish companies and its operations here in Japan. So I spent almost half of my life in Japan already doing business between Poland and Japan. So yes, indeed, I have quite a good and different insights into all this. But to focus on today's topic, so I would like to say that Comark as a company, we are nicely blend into all of this, what my colleagues mentioned before. Yes? So first of all, we are not like a startup. We are on the market for 30 years, and we started as a spin-off of a university. And nowadays, every year, we are cooperating with universities. Every year, there's roughly 200 or 2 to 300 of interns every year coming from different universities in Kraków. And majority of them actually stays with us. So it shows that this ecosystem is working very well. Yeah? So there is academia, there are companies, and there are, of course, clients, and there are projects clients. And here I would like to stress, so we are talking about human capital skills. This is something I can share with you. So Comark is actually delivering systems, sophisticated systems for managing telecommunication networks here in Japan for one of the leading company called KDDI. And it's not Hitachi, it's not NEC or Fujitsu, it's Comark, yes? So why Comark was chosen? Simply because we have skills, we have knowledge, we have products, and that's, other companies also have it, but there is also this mind, yeah? Something that you may have a product, but sometimes you need to tweak it. You need to sit down with your partner, with your client, and discuss, okay, what else we can do? What else is needed to make this project successful? And I think this is something where Poland is really excelling at. Yeah? So it's not only skills, knowledge, but also this mind. Yeah? So we always want to do something more or to change something and to see what happens. Yes? And so really, I see this is working here in Japan. And I'm pretty sure that it will work even better in Poland when you are investing in Poland.
Yeah, thank you, Łukasz. And to be honest, thank you guys. Yes, since as we are talking about talented workforce in Poland, you and we are together as a part of talented workforce from Poland, yeah, cooperating on different areas, but in between Poland and Japan. So, yeah, thank you for that. But let us get back to some part of history and this how we has changed in Poland. Yeah, I mean since 36 years ago we've been under the Eastern Bloc, and during this 36 years of nice change in Poland, yeah, Poland really has changed, yeah, from this strong manufacturing base to some new sectors. I mean IT, business service sector, space and others. Yeah? How do you see that development? Let me address this, as an open question, yeah? And let's discuss that from the different points of view, yeah, guys? How do you see that, yeah? Where's the Poland at the moment? How was the way?
Okay. I can add something for this topic. It's very important if we compare how was in Poland in 1990s and how we nowadays. That about e-services, e-government. That of course we can share our experience with other countries, with Japan, for example, and with the area for example, cybersecurity. Poland is the country which is the most attacked in the European Union. We've got also many experiences in this area. We can share. We signed MOU with other country. We develop also in the AI. We plans to build AI factory. It's also very important to new technologies, to be also very important sovereignty for each country, I think. Also, we can be proud as Poland. I think we have a special e-government as well as a company. For example, a special solution like payments Blik. You have smartphones and you can transfer the money for other smartphones, for example. That is something unique can I say that with we compare other countries. We can also give the example about our flag application like M-Obywatel, in Polish M-Citizen, that you have in your own smartphone personal ID, ID card, ID insurance, ID students, and many other functions.
Yep, I believe like this is like that. Yeah? Who would like to add something to that? Yeah, where we are at the Poland. Where we are with
historically
Poland.
Looking, it was mentioned today by Prime Minister Bielecki that we started from high note with the visit of President Wałęsa, who is still an icon. At that time, it was the President of Poland with the support of the ambassador, and that was it. It was a small group of people that had the conviction and the perception that Japan can be the partner. Nowadays, we have the ambassadors that are in larger numbers, the companies present here. So that's one element. The second is that initially this was based on large number of highly skilled manual workers who were very highly appreciated by those first Japanese investors that came to Poland. Nowadays, the investors are looking for specific niches. Mr. Minister mentioned both the level of education that we are offering, but also the achievements. It was also mentioned by my colleague from the Ministry responsible for those regulations. We are no longer talking about doing something in Poland or in Japan. It's much more detailed. And the number of ambassadors with respect to the ambassador is much larger. So now that's a multi-level cooperation. We just need to find the right partner, present the business environment created by the ministry, but also created by the cities. It's no longer just doing business. These people coming to Poland want to feel like they are welcomed, and this is created also by people like Piotr Ciechowicz, representing the Pomeranian Investment Agency. They did take the effort to come here and talk to the partners. So it's much more personal element that definitely stands behind the business, although knowing the similarities but also differences of the cultures, we are much more aware of both and we know how to use them to do the business.
Yeah, maybe from the business side, and we very much like numbers and logos and nice stories to tell. I would like to recall the presentation which was at the beginning of the forum done by Paweł from PAIH, which presented how people and how we as a Poland and as our sector developed in the last 25 plus years. When you look on the map, which was presented, how many R&D and companies we had in Poland in 2000 or 2010 and how many we have today, then you can very easily extrapolate what are our capabilities, not only from the knowledge, but also execution possibilities. So whatever new investor would like to come to Poland, you don't only have a solid base of people to work with, but you have a solid competences and expertise already from the different products and different services when people can immediately start contributing to, again, keeping in mind all the similarities related to the cooperation, to the modus operandi we have. It's not like you need to invest a lot of time, you just need to a little bit open up, sure, and then we can immediately start contributing to. And last but not least, just naming few areas where Poland is very strong presented by our input which we provided there. When you think about the medical part, like insulin pumps, or transportation, trains, energy, transformers, automotive, security from IT perspective, but also cybersecurity, all that kind of a knowledge and all those kind of capabilities are already here. So if this is not convincing, then I don't know what else could be more up to that.
If I may, you mentioned 35 years ago, exactly 36 years ago, I started my uni. So I sort of consciously observe the huge development of my country, which I'm really proud of. And I remember the place we started, lost in the dark. We didn't even know the field of play. Right now, this field of play is very well identified. We know our strong and weak points. We know how to show those strong points to the potential investors and to attract them. And we know how to play out our competitors, because we are not only country in the world seeking investors, seeking new inventions and seeking for the big development and big expand. Sort of summarizing from my perspective is the regulatory solutions which make our investors and develop our strong points to attract those investors very attractive and very solid from a perspective of a person who is going to be in Poland and who is going to build the business in Poland. And I'm sure we're doing very well.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so maybe my observations from spending here almost 20 years. Just a few years back, there was basically no Polish company who would think about investing in Japan or doing business here. But nowadays, yeah, it's changed, totally changed. You can see it today. So many Polish companies, and it's not only IT, which is, well, maybe the easiest one, yeah, to start with. There are power companies, right, yachts, and many more. And what happened, yes? So I think for those 30 years, Poland has changed from this labor-intensive work towards value-added work. Yes, so Poland is no longer just a nice place with good skilled people. It's simply we have our own values. I mean, add value products. Yes, and with these products now Poland is not afraid of conquering Japan or other markets. Yes, so we can see it today. But what does it mean also for Japanese companies? It means that to do a nice and good business with Polish companies, Polish partners, whether it is in Poland or in Japan, it needs to be on equal level. Yeah. So I think Poland is no longer just looking into some simple things. It is a cooperation. I think it is very important. Yeah. So business doing business with Polish companies means cooperation and do it together rather than simply asking someone for do something. Yes, of course. Still, there are software houses, everything, but on a bigger layer or strategy layer, this is simply cooperation, and we are there to be on par with Japanese companies.
Yeah, I'm happy that we together agreed that the quality of workforce in Poland it's pretty well. Yeah, this is our
exactly. Yeah,
yeah, this is our strong point. I definitely, guys, agree with you. On top of that, but let's think about future. Yeah. So okay, we are probably at the moment the place where we can produce some really highly developed services or products, etc. We are at the moment not the cheapest one. Yeah, you can probably produce or develop something a bit cheaper in some region of Asia, for example. Yeah, but how this situation might evolve? Yeah, why? This might be, still important to, let's say, locate our investments in terms of human capital in Poland. Yeah, how do you see that? Yeah, guys, what is your perspective?
Well, I think competition on the price side right now in Poland is not something we should debate more, because we are not coming from the area of cheap country, but high quality country. And also products towards which we are contributing, and the countries I was mentioning like Germany, Switzerland, Nordics, those guys are not looking for something what's going to be extremely cheap, but something what's going to be extremely reliable. And the same thing we have when it comes to Japanese products. They, in many areas, will not be the cheapest ones, but they will be lasting long. And this is the area where we should focus the most, and in a way how we are promoting our country, that we are promoting the capabilities, we are promoting the outcome base, and then based on that, our investors or partners can make the calculation, whether they will be looking at the Excel from the next few quarters or next few decades. Japanese is a culture which looks at the perspective from decades, not only quarters. So I think we have here very strong fundamentals to really contribute and jointly make great things together.
Okay, dear Minister.
Okay, I can add something to this topic, that the question, where is the Polish competitiveness? I think that it's not, nowadays, it's not salary, cost of wages. It's a quality of work and our creativity. This is the main point, and our challenges. That is, of course, I've mentioned about sovereignty, about building infrastructure that is and especially energy infrastructure, which is very important to build AI factory, new technologies, and that is our future.
Cool. Pavel?
I think looking at the need of both countries, I would be really tempted to listen to our Japanese friends and guests present in the room about their needs, but I think this forum is the perfect platform to exchange those information. So I would say, and it was stressed many times, that Japan, with their business approach, is looking for stability and for the value. And the value used to be defined by, as I said, the large number of highly skilled, competitive, price-wise people. Nowadays, the value is somewhere else. The value is in creating the added value of what we're already doing. So showing the stability and having the representatives of the government responsible for creating that tax and regulation stability, we have the proof already that we want to discuss the future with the Japanese colleagues. So showing the value of highly skilled people doing things and able to do things in the future, education, and the fact that we may not be the great inventors, but we are great improvers, may provide the value that whatever the Japanese business is doing globally may be done with a different added value in Poland or with Poland, because it doesn't have to be done today just in the country. I would be stressing those elements when someone says, oh, it's not as cheap as it used to be. If you're looking for cheap, I'm sorry, we won't be competing, because cheap does not always go with the value.
I believe that like this might be somehow, you know, show similarity in between Japan and Poland, yeah? Japan is also not the cheapest market. Okay, in terms, okay, Łukasz, I see that, no? Okay. So in terms of, let's say, labor market, yeah? In Poland, we have something like 37 million of inhabitants, yeah? And pretty, okay, we agreed that pretty highly skilled, you know, workforce, yeah? But is Poland closed, since this is only 37 millions of inhabitants, or we somehow, you know, invite or give some incentives, you know, to have more of citizens in Poland, maybe from different regions located? Yeah, how do you see that? Do you have any observation, Tomek? I see like
it's probably a question to our colleagues responsible for regulatory, but it was, I remember that appeal from one of the first panels to make the Polish market more open for Japanese investors and the Japanese market open for Polish. So we have to, once again, I would really love to talk to the Japanese guests in the room to see where they see the obstacles of what they want to do and would be able to do. But I think there is a goodwill on both sides. Don't you think, colleagues?
Yeah, well, addressing your question related to the openness, you know, in the span of 20 years of my experience working in different product and service companies, mainly from the IT and R&D sector, in each and every company we had at least 10 nationalities. When you were making any kind of internal survey, how many people from different countries we have, I don't recall any company I work for that we went below 10. In the peaks, we had even close to 30 different nationalities, people from different, not only countries in Europe, but basically regions globally. So I think those numbers summarize the best whether we are open or not, and how we are adapting to this global mindset and cooperation.
Okay, so in terms of that, Maciej, yeah, you wanted to add something?
Just speaking about the obstacles, the possible obstacles, I'll be boring you again with the regulatory provisions and a thing which is called global tax. We cannot deny that a lot of the investors, even from Japan, has been attracted to Poland, giving them the tax breaks for a certain period of time. And that tax has just been announced and voted for in the various legislation. The main supporter of that global tax, US, suddenly withdrew from that regulation. So there is a huge question mark how the whole system would work. But certainly the good old days with simple tax breaks for the investors also from Japan is over, and we need to work and change the system in a way that it would still would be seen as attractive and beneficial for Japanese investors. There are the ways, there are the examples, so we must find the will to change it.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, guys, I believe we somehow gave some, let's say, taste of this, what you can expect, cooperating with Polish companies or with Polish people, yeah. I'm happy that we both, all of us, been talking in English, yeah. Maybe not everybody in Poland is speaking Japanese, but you can count on English. And unfortunately, we have only 5 minutes left, as Marta is keeping the time. So let's maybe do some kind of recap, guys, yeah? So let's, okay, we discussed that the Polish workforce might be, treated as a very, very nice idea to do the investment in Poland, yeah? But let us somehow recap from your perspective, yeah? How do you see that, yeah? Do you believe in Polish-Japanese strong cooperation on the workforce, for example? Mr. Łukasz,
okay, so
yeah?
maybe I will start this session, this question. Yes, of course. So my company, so Comark, has proved that we can work on really big projects, and we prove that Polish company can work directly with the biggest Japanese companies on big projects, so like multi-million dollar projects, delivering something new. So not manufacturing something according to plan, but simply think, design, and then execute. Yes, and it can happen in Japan, can happen in Poland. So just sitting together, sharing, room. And will lead to I think, very good results. My colleagues, co-panelists mentioned about values, culture that is actually quite similar. So we believe in not only skills, but in quality, right? So we know how to do that. We know how to fulfill clients' needs. And I think this is a good basis for cooperation. Yeah. So simply, it's just, let's do it.
Cool, thanks. Tomek?
Yeah, I would like to answer this in a way that we first of all together in this panel and also during different discussions and the presentation before, we pretty well, I think, answered the question why Japanese should work closely with us. We give the strong fundamentals of our competences, availability of the talents. We also address the area of what, addressing several products which are right now developed in Poland, proving the capabilities, the knowledge, and the expertise we have, which creates very solid grounds for further discussion and solid base for the investments. And last but not least, for the how, I would like to invite the offline discussions where we can deep dive more and understand better what are the needs on Japanese side and how we as a Polish sector and Poles can address them.
Okay, thank you, Tomek. Maciej, Paweł? Paweł.
Nowadays, we can see that we can cooperate together. Very important. Our challenges are connected with easy regulation. I think easy regulation for foreign investors, for Japanese investors, easy taxes, of course, and that is, I think, the main point. We are close to work culture, can we say that? And I hope and I believe, and we can see, of course, that Polish and Japanese cooperation is go very well.
I was speaking about stability that all the businesses need, both Japanese and Polish, but also one element that is worth mentioning is the key element that the Minister of Foreign Affairs is now trying to build in Poland. It is economic diplomacy. So I was mentioning before that the complexity of the contacts is much bigger than it used to be. The information that supports doing business is much broader. The legion of economic ambassadors that is present at this forum is also impressive. So I would encourage anyone that is considering doing business somewhere to talk to those ambassadors. We had the Polish ambassador in Japan, who is a natural first place of contact. But you also have the panelists of this panel. You will have the panelists of the next panel. I can see that Przemek is already getting ready for that. Please use us to get the information, to confirm what you want to do, and to find the first place of contact, like Piotr in Pomerania, responsible for doing things. You also have the team of PAIH, Przemek and Monika. Please use those people as the natural economic and business ambassadors to do business with Poland and in Poland.
Perfect, yeah. And apart from that, we just in time, yeah? I'm very happy out of that, yeah. Dear audience, I hope like you was not bored with us, and I hope we will have other discussion after the panel. Dear distinguished panelists, this has been pleasure, yeah? I can't imagine better.
Poland used to have the face of President Wałęsa. Now you have many faces. Just memorize them and talk to us.
Guys, I can't have better guests on the stage. Thank you so much.
Dear panelists, the moderator, I thank you very much for this panel. I would also like to add that as your first point of contact in Japan, that we also have Tokyo Foreign Trade Office. We are located in Tokyo, and we are available to answer any questions you might have about doing business with Poland. This is what we do, so please also remember this face and do not hesitate to contact us. Thank you also for keeping the time. It was perfect. And now we will move to our final panel that is Poland as a gateway to Europe, capital market and commercial real estate in the spotlight of Asian funds. This will be our last panel today, and I will let you know beforehand that after this panel, we will be moving to our main stage where there will be closing remarks. I will also remind you of that after the panel. But now I would like to invite our guests to the stage. So please welcome Mr. Radosław Waszkiewicz, partner, Sołtysik Kawecki and Ślęzak Kancelaria Radców Prawnych i Adwokatów. Mr. Radosław Waszkiewicz. Mr. Sławomir Karasiński, founding partner, attorney at law, Fortak and Karasiński. We still don't have Mr. Sławomir, but we will wait for him a little bit. Next, Mr. Przemysław Andrzejak, CEO at Royal Sail Investment Group. Thank you. Mr. Radosław Krupa, Head of Tax and Legal Department for Poland, Ukraine and the Baltic States, Ernst & Young Poland. And the last but not least, Mr. Yoshihisa Watanabe, partner at Nagashima Ono and Tsunematsu. Because of the time confusion, I think that not all of the panelists have made it in time. The moderator for this panel will be Mr. Michael Mroczek, partner at Nozomi Sogo. So we are waiting for one more panelist. Maybe please take a seat, because we will soon start. As an introduction to this panel, I would like to say that this last session will explore Poland's rising appeal to Asian investors in capital markets and real estate, focusing on its potential as a financial hub, rate development, key property sectors, and the role of private equity and infrastructure funds. Also, very happy that Mr. Sławomir Karasiński was able to join us. Thank you. And Michael, I leave the floor to you.
Marta, this is fantastic introduction. Thank you so much. We're still waiting a few seconds for Mr. Prime Minister to join us here on the stage. As I heard, he will be part of the panel. Prime Minister Bielecki should be here. I'm very happy that you're still with us. I understand that you had an intense day with a lot of knowledge, a lot of substance, a lot of discussions, networking. Everybody's looking forward to the cocktails now. We appreciate your attention in the last minutes. Yeah, I see Mr. Prime Minister is actually already on the screen, but not yet with us. He just entered. Wonderful. Well, perhaps I allow myself to welcome you once again, and once again, thank you for your attention in the last session here today. My name is Michael Mroczek. I'm a lawyer based in Tokyo, partner at Nozomi Sogo, attorneys at law. And I used to be president of the European Business Council, representing the European interest towards the Japanese government. And yes, today I have the pleasure of moderating the panel on investments into real estate from Asia. And interestingly, I was reading just last week in the local newspaper about a survey conducted by the German Chamber of Commerce here in Japan with the conclusion that German companies found Japan as a hub for manufacturing for Asia, which is very, very interesting. Now, with my distinguished panelists, and we're still waiting for Mr. Prime Minister, with my distinguished panelists, I would like to explore, as you see in the title, whether Poland could act as a gateway to Europe with respect to the commercial real estates. And we will be focusing on real estates. As already introduced, we have Mr. Yoshi Watanabe, partner at Nagashima Ono, expert in real estate, infrastructure, energy. We have, well, Mr. Prime Minister doesn't need any introduction. I'm sure he's on his way. We have Sławomir Karasiński, who is founding partner of Forta Karasiński, a law firm with over 40 lawyers, dedicated Japan desk. Sławek has accompanied a couple of projects involving Japanese companies in Poland. To my left, Radosław Waszkiewicz, partner at SKS, and partners SKS Warsaw. Mr. Prime Minister, very good to see you. Very good to have you on the panel. I was just explaining to the audience that as opposed to us, you do not need any further introduction. Then I moved to Mr. Przemysław Andrzejak, who is Vice Chair of the Supervisory Board of PAIH, the co-organizer of today's event. It's great to have you, Przemek, here with us in the panel. Without further ado, because the clock is ticking, I would like to start off with Yoshi Watanabe. And Yoshi, I understand that in your practice you have dealt a lot with Europe. I understand that you worked in London. And I would like to ask you, what do you think from your perspective, from your experience with Japanese investors into Europe, what do you think that such investors would be looking for when investing in Poland into commercial real estate?
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for the great introduction of myself. I'm Yoshi Watanabe, a lawyer working in the Japanese law firm. And so to answer your question, I think traditionally Japanese companies have favored other jurisdictions in the European region like the UK or Germany because of its political stability, language maybe, and also the high living standards. So for the Japanese company, it's really important for the employees or managers on the ground living good, high living standards. And also the familiarity to the legal taxation and regulatory framework is also important. But those markets, the UK or Germany market, it's very competitively centered, highly saturated and also matured. So Japanese investors are looking for an alternative. So I think that Poland can offer a great attractive market for the Japanese investors. And in terms of the sector, I think the real estate and construction area is very attractive for Japanese companies. It's obvious that the major cities in Poland, like Warsaw or Krakow, is in need of good quality real estate, not only the commercial real estate, but also the residential, mixed use. And I think the Japanese companies, in particular the construction or developers, are capable of doing great things in Poland. So.
Thank you very much, Yoshi. I appreciate your input. Your partner, one of the largest firm in Tokyo. Now I would like to move to Radek. Radek is partner in one of the largest firm in Poland. How do you see it in your perspective? You've handled also a lot of international deals. Do you think we are ready for Japanese investors to receive them in Poland, give them the perhaps transparency that they are known to from Germany, UK, as Yoshi mentioned?
Hello? Yes, okay, it works. Yes, definitely. I think generally the state of real estate capital markets in Europe and globally is quite shaky at the moment. We are in a stage of very deep transformation of this market. It created a position of many of the players for more than 2 years already, wait and see. So we faced kind of dormancy period on this market. And this is now a very good moment for everyone. German players, they are very busy now with their domestic issues. They are restructuring their portfolios in Germany, so they are not that active in CEE and in Poland. And I think at the moment, the market is starting to raise from this dormancy. And he who will be the first starting running full speed, he wins. And I can see Japan investors on this market. They were not present except for Kajima in student housing. They own the biggest student housing platform in Poland at the moment. But the other institutional real estate funds from Japan, they were not active so far in Poland. But I'm sure they will very shortly will. They already used this dormancy period to invest a lot in London. So when all the Western funds were sleeping, the Japanese funds invested a lot in landmark transactions, landmark projects in London. And I think the next move is towards Nordics. We've already seen the investments of government pension investment fund from Japan into Nepira Castle for the Nordic fund. And Nepira Castle has great portfolio of commercial properties in Poland. So I think they will convince the Japanese to look into Poland and to invest. And at the moment for the investment in Poland is now excellent. The pricing is very good. There are a lot of good assets on the market. So don't wait and see, just start running.
Thank you very much. Radek, I'm glad to hear that you both confident. I mean, the Japanese side is very confident and the Polish side is very, very confident about that. We heard this morning from the president of PAI, Mr. Dich, we heard that Poland is now the new Germany of Europe, right? So keep this in mind. Poland is the new Germany of Europe. I would like to move now to Sławek Karasiński, partner of Fortak and Karasiński, as mentioned before, with a designated Japan desk. Sławek has handled a couple of specific cases of Japanese investors coming to Poland, investing there through special economic zone and so on. Sławek, would you like to share your practical experience with Japanese investors?
The whole experience?
Please.
I think that this is, on the one hand, a very interesting but also a very challenging relationship. The challenge results from something which maybe is slightly underestimated. That means the language, the other way we communicate, the other social behaviors, and also the other way of thinking about investment projects. So the Japanese tend to prepare very, very properly for each investment. I remember former Ambassador Miyajima used to say that the Japanese, they are the masters of planning and management, and the Poles, they are the masters of crisis management. So we come from, maybe that's a simplification, but we come from different angles. And I would say that when you have a foreign investor, it's a quite competitive market. You have many countries that compete with Poland. We have Hungary, Czech Republic, Baltic states, we have Serbia, we have the Balkans, we have Germany and others. So the first thing, you have to understand the culture and the point the investor comes from. Second, you have to respect the way they also do their business. So usually you have to wait for the decision to invest, and that's taking the most of the time. We have experienced a couple of deadlines from our Japanese clients to give us their decision on the investment in Poland, and also this decision was moved for later. So once you overcome this and you have a decision, that's rather simple. Because you basically, from our experience, you basically have to establish a limited liability company in majority of cases. Then here, it very much depends how deep your Japanese clients wants to discuss the articles of association. And so that's the only, and not obstacle, something you have to explain and come to an agreement. Then after that, you can simply start the project of the special economic zone. So you basically prepare application, and this application and decision on support is usually given within 30 days. So here there are no delays. The decision is usually made in favor of the applicant. And then you need land, basically, but when you apply for the special economic zone, you have to have the land already pre-selected. So you have spoken to the owners, you know what might be the conditions, and then after you have the decision of support, you just need to close the transaction and of the sales agreement, and you basically buy the land. And here, usually a couple of weeks, and that's also solved, no problem. And after that, you start construction, and that very much depends, the timing very much depends on how big the construction project is. Usually to get the permit, you wait a couple of weeks, up to a couple of months, and that's also solved. And then you have a tender, but the Japanese companies usually prefer to work with Japanese construction companies, so the tender is not that broad. And you have your own construction company doing the construction works. You have agreed with them, and the business is ready to run. In the meantime, we as lawyers prepared the internal documents. We help them hire the top people to manage their company. And I wouldn't say there's any difference with any other investor beside the first part, waiting for the decision.
Yeah, I'm looking at Yoshi nodding actually when you're talking, and this gives me a lot of comfort. It gives me a lot of comfort. I think you mentioned something extremely important is to understand the culture of the investor and try to accommodate this. Take time to explain the articles of associations. Very important, I think, to Japanese investors to be able to answer the questions no matter how obvious we find them. Thank you, Slavik, for sharing that. Now I would like to move to more the regulatory part, and I would like to ask Prime Minister Bielecki, who is not only a former Prime Minister, but he's also related to Ernst & Young. And Prime Minister, I would like to hear from you what can Poland offer to Japanese investors in terms of taxes, regulations. What is the environment in your experience?
Thank you. Thank you very much. And thank you for your kind introduction. I think I have to explain from the outset that my role on that panel is a bit specific, because it's supposed to be a colleague of mine to be sitting here, and he's by almost 40 years junior. He's a good-looking, smart, energetic, well-dressed, the best maybe tax lawyer in Poland. So the right person for the right conversation. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it, and therefore he asked me to pretend to be a poacher who seems to be 50% as good as he used to be. It's not easy job, but he specifically asked me to say a few words about so-called ruling 590, which is also well known as an investment agreement, the new set of regulations introduced by the finance ministry in the beginning of this year, which puts under one, I think, roof a lot of tools and regulations regarding potential investor. So if, in a nutshell, if you are planning to spend 50 million or more, then get in touch with the finance ministry, and then you would have in one single investment agreement all the tax regulations, tax planning, and all those decisions which are included into that agreement are binding, which is very important. So that's kind of a final, ultimate tax interpretation of many rulings. So this is a good example that the tax environment in Poland is getting better and better. So now if we could be for 10 seconds more optimistic, let's dream that the Middle East war is about to finish shortly, that it would put a pressure on Russia to also to progress and to at least to achieve a ceasefire that would open up completely new situation regarding investment opportunities in Eastern Europe and not only in Ukraine. And we could watch kind of a gold rush 2025, but instead of going to California, people will be traveling to Kiev and further to the east, and that would open up new opportunities in development of logistics, infrastructure, and infrastructure necessary for development of business relations in that part of the world. And that sounds maybe too optimistic, but I would like to end up on that tone. So let's be optimistic.
Thank you very much, Mr. Prime Minister. Actually, we are very, very happy and honored to have you here on this panel. And I think we prefer to have you actually than your younger, good-looking colleague from EY, because when you started talking, actually behind there, everybody got silent. Everybody got silent. Everybody wanted to hear what you have to say. Thank you very much for your intervention on this question.
Sorry, but people left simply.
They got quiet. Very good. I would like to move on and ask Radek, based on his experience on repatriation of capital, I would like to ask how difficult it would potentially be for Japanese investors putting their money into commercial real estates to get them out of Poland.
Yeah, so basically we need to understand that Polish real estate market is based on euro. So although in Poland we do not have yet euro currency, we have still Polish zloty, all commercial property market is based on euro. So rents are in euro, transactions are in euro, financings are in euro. So there is no currency risk for the investors looking from exit perspectives. So this is one first point, very important to mention, because
it's not China, right?
Yeah,
it's not China.
And maybe with one exception for private rental sector, which is based on PLN still, and it is kind of break for faster development of this sector in Poland. And then there is no, I would say, easy answer to, of course, it would be the best to say exit is easy. But this is what the Western funds faced in recent years, 2-3 years back, when this slowdown on the commercial property market started. The repricing of German portfolios took place, and then German funds tried to withdraw money from Poland, and it was not easy, specifically in the office sector. There are some developers, there are some investors that had to wait. They were not able to cash immediately. But at the moment, I just read some feedback from GRI conference in Paris. It was like the biggest gathering of real estate professionals in Europe, and they confirmed in the wrap-up that Poland is very liquid at the moment, comparing the rest of Europe. And this is also the sign, and this is not a comment from Polish professionals, it is the comment from Western Europe professionals. And the liquidity is back, they say, and we can see it. The transaction volumes this year are getting back to the original values, and even the offices are being transacted. Retail, huge shopping centers are being transacted. So yeah, the liquidity is there.
Thank you very much, Radek. I appreciate that. That means basically we have favorable regulatory environment. We know the Japanese investors are used to Germany, UK. We know that we can offer them basically the same, as we heard this morning, Poland being the new Germany in Europe. We know that even they put money in, they can take it out easily. Now I would like to move on to more a question, if I may stay with you, Radek, ask you about what an investor would be looking for, I say on the soft side, lifestyle side, is do we have the infrastructure to receive, let's say, foreign investors, to create the environment for them to also be in Poland and send their people to Poland?
Yeah, again, I think the best answer is few sentences that Mr. Fujiyama said, the former Toyota vice president in Poland, living in Poland for 4 years. He said that at that time, he started in 1996, living in Warsaw. There was only one shopping center in Warsaw, and basically there was nothing around. And he visited Warsaw a few years ago, and he couldn't recognize the place. It looks maybe not like Osaka, but I think in the next few years it will look partly as Osaka. We have few beautiful, big mixed-use developments within the center of Warsaw, already opened and operational, and we have one big Towarowa 22, which is over 200,000 square meters, being under development, and I think, looking into some concepts, projections, it is under construction. It will look very much like this surrounding of Osaka, where we are here now.
I'm so excited actually to go next time to Warsaw. Shame on me, I haven't been for 15 years. Now hearing that, I'm very, very excited. Well, we heard from Prime Minister Bielecki before mentioning the question of Ukraine. Is this, and I would like to turn, if you allow, to Przemek Andrzejak, is this a factor of concern, in your opinion, the Ukraine factor? Is it something that Japanese investor, be it in real estate or others, should seriously consider? What is your experience in this respect?
Okay, thank you. This is very good and important questions. When Russia attacked Ukraine 3 years ago, the foreign and the Polish investment stopped. This is normal. This was normal behavior from investors. Today, investment have returned to normality and reality. Today we have a lot of investors, investments in Poland from defense sectors. A lot of companies from Korea and from USA, from England invest now in Poland. And currently we have a lot of investments in the rail and energy sectors. Here I see big opportunities for the Japanese investors from the capital and technology investor, because you are the really strong in the rail sectors and the energy sectors. I think today the business returned. I think today is a good time to do business together with the Polish and Japanese investors. But the last 3 years, 2 years, for us, for the Poland governments, for business, was really big challenge. Organize this crisis situation. But today, I think
we have dealt with it.
Yeah.
Yes, we're prepared.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Przemek, for sharing your thoughts on this point. It gives a lot of confidence. I think we heard a couple of times today from the panelists, it's the right moment. It's the right moment today. Perhaps not 3 years ago, although certainly not bad time. Now it's the right moment to do it. Final question, I would like to actually, if you could try to answer with one sentence, I would like to ask every single one of you the same question. What is, in your opinion, the most underrated reason for Asian investor to consider Poland? Or how could we accelerate the decision of an Asian investor to consider Poland? Perhaps starting with Sławek.
I would say after working with Japanese companies for more than 13 years now, and when I'm analyzing the things that worked and that didn't work, I would say that then focusing on cultural exchange in terms of effective communication is something we always should remember, because if too soon we are started treating Japanese investor as, let's say, international or European or Polish, then we are losing and missing some factors which are still very important in Polish-Japanese communication to keep it effective. So I would say that's quite important to remember.
Fair enough. This is something that I certainly would remember from your interaction. Yoshi, what is, in your opinion, the factor that should be, just in one sentence, considered by in such cases?
I think Poland is obviously capable of being the next Germany. I think as a Japanese people, we would like to know more about Poland, Polish system, Polish business culture, market situation, and so on. And I wish the Polish government and the business sector working together to facilitate Japanese company to step farther into the new market. And the Japanese companies are normally very cautious and risk averse. But if the government and the business sector present some successful story in the past, then the Japanese companies can move forward a little bit.
Thank you very much. I think there's also a very important point that's aligned with Sławek. Thank you for that, and I will move now to Przemek. Yes, please, Przemek, in just one sentence.
I believe the strategic location and, like you said, the really flexible regulation and very strong government, and I think it is also the flexible business in Poland, and I think it's very good multicultural the workforce.
Thank you. Agreed. Prime Minister Bielecki, in your experience.
I think there is one destination which is particularly important. Even though the ceasefire is achieved, let's be that optimistic, still security spendings will be lasting for quite a long time to go. And Poland is one of the few countries in Europe which not only is going to spend its own resources at a quite high pace, but also will benefit from the EU funding for defense and security. That's a special fund. I think it might be up to 40 billion. So there will be almost a lot of money available for new investment in that sector, in particular in dual-use industry. So whoever has got any good idea what might be done in that dual-use industry should rush and come and be successful. Almost guaranteed. Thank you.
Thank you very much, because it's the time. The time is right. Przemek, excuse me, Radek, from your side.
I think I took something from the previous session again, from Mr. President of JETRA. He said something which resonates with me, that we have, of course, different cultures, but we have also many common points in our cultures. And one of that is our love to nature, to greenery. Poland is a very green country. And the quality of living is very high. We have beautiful landscapes, mountains, forests, lakes, very different nature locations. And I remember Toyota came to Poland when I just started my professional career, and we had the chance to work with Toyota, and we traveled 2 weeks in a minivan with Toyota managers checking the locations for potential manufacturing plants in Poland. They finally chosen Wałbrzych and Wrocław. And one of the reasons was that, Wrocław and Wałbrzych, they are beautiful places for the managers to leave. They were thinking about the quality of life of Japanese managers that will move to Poland. And I think we have this big treasure of almost 30 years of the presence of Toyota, Bridgestone, Itochu in Poland. I think this is something we can build on, and we should look for the ways to use these companies as our ambassadors, convincing the other sectors of industries, including commercial property, to come.
That's beautiful what you said. I think we should not forget that Poland, it's not only Warsaw, it's also the nature. And I think the Polish pavilion has done actually a splendid job in emphasizing many different sides of Poland. And I think this is what Yoshi just said before. We need to see a little bit more. We need to learn more about Poland. And I say the Polish pavilion, the presence of Poland here in Osaka is fantastic. It's truly fantastic. With these words, I would like to close and thank my panelists for their contributions. Thank you a lot, everyone. Thank you.
Dear panelists, Michael, thank you very much for an amazing panel. It was a great ending to our forum today. And dear ladies and gentlemen, I also thank you for staying until the end. Well, almost until the end, because there will be closing remarks in the next hall room, the one where we started. So I would kindly ask you to move to the big room where we started, where we will officially close our forum. Thank you very much for today, and hopefully, if you are interested in doing business with Poland, we are here for you. We have an office in Tokyo, Polish Investment and Trade Agency. Please remember about us, and we are here to help you. Thank you so much.